Welcome back for the 7th episode of CBA's Talking Economics and the first for 2023 with the Commonwealth Bank of Australia's Chief Economist, Stephen Halmarick. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, thank you.
Lots happening in the global economy in 2023. What is the outlook?
Well, we think the global economy will grow by around 2% this year, so that's quite a significant slowdown from the last few years. And we're actually forecasting recessions in the US, the UK, Europe and Japan. Now that's all on the back of higher interest rates. Of course, 2022 was really defined by a big increase in interest rates as inflation increased well beyond target. So those higher interest rates are going to mean an economic slowdown this year. The exception to that is China, which is now reopening after some very strict COVID policies. So we actually see growth in China accelerating this year to a bit over 5%. So that's some good news there.
So what are the implications for us here in Australia?
Well, we are forecasting a slower economic growth here in Australia as well, looking for 1.6% growth this year compared to 3.6% last year, so quite a meaningful slowdown. And the real impact is the higher interest rates. The Reserve Bank increased interest rates by 300 basis points last year, very aggressive rate hikes, as many people will be aware. And we think that's going to slow consumer spending throughout 2023. So a slower global economy this year as the Reserve Bank interest rate rises really get on top of that inflation problem and see consumer spending come in a bit softer.
So after the summer break, the RBA Board meets again early February. What are we expecting there?
So we are expecting one more rate hike in early February, another 25 basis points. That will take the cash rate up to 3.35%. But the good news is I think that this is close to the end of the rate hike cycle. We think the Reserve Bank has done enough to get on top of the inflation problem. We think inflation will subside throughout 2023. There's still a lot of tightening in the system as the lag effect on mortgage repayments needs to come through, particularly those that are refinancing from a fixed rate mortgage back to a variable rate. So a lot of tightening of monetary policy still to come through. But as I said, we think the RBA is pretty much done on the rate hike cycle.
Some good news in there.
Yes, indeed.
Stephen, thanks for your time.
Pleasure.